Okay, this is Jimmy Jive, and you're listening to Motor City Rock Talk. Today, my guest is a legendary guitarist from the Detroit metropolitan area. He's been around for quite a while. His band is still together, still out there rocking. They had an MTV video called We're Gonna Rock. I'm talking about The Look. Today, my guest is, of course, Dave Edwards. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to talk to you.
Okay, thank you for having me.
You bet. Let's start with a little background. Tell me a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, and what attracted you to music, what, drew you to it, and especially to playing the guitar.
Well, I'm mainly a singer. I didn't really play guitar in The Look. I did it. I've done it since 1990 when we got back together.
Right.
But I grew up I was born and I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. High school, grade school, junior high school, and high school Pontiac.
Oh, okay.
So I was there for a long time, and I moved to Dearborn Heights. Yeah, I've lived in Detroit. Anyway, yeah, I'm from Pontiac.
Right, okay.
Rock.
That's cool. Now, who were some of your earliest influences growing up? Like, if you had to pick one artist or a couple of artists that really influenced you as far as your music and getting into music, who would that be?
Well, I would say that probably the Beatles and the Stones probably influenced me. I mean, when I saw them on Ed Sullivan back in the day,
right.
that was probably, but my parents both played. My dad played drums a little tiny bit, and my uncle had a band, and my dad and him used to jam around in the bars when I was really, really little. And my mother played piano.
Okay.
So I got, my musical influences were the Beatles, the Stones, and my parents.
Oh, well, and so you didn't start out playing guitar like you said. You didn't play guitar in The Look, and I remember that. But I know you play a bit of guitar now. When did you start playing guitar?
Oh, God, when I was 11 or 10 or 11, my parents bought me a guitar. Yeah, I always played. I just didn't, there was no need for me to play in The Look because we had two fantastic guitar players.
Right.
Randy Boland and Sammy Warren.
Who else was in that band?
John Sarkeesian was on drums. Rick Bukmarovich was on bass.
Yeah, just a killer band. How long has The Look been around?
The Look actually started, our first gig was November 17th, 1977.
Wow.
So we're going on, if you could include all these years. I was with RH back 4 years. I left The Look and I joined this band called RH Factor. So if you just exclude those, I think it's been about 46, 47 years.
Wow, that's incredible. And where did you say you played your first gig with The Look?
Oh, with The Look, it was Abigail Saloon in Ypsilanti. Yeah.
Is that a small place?
No, actually, it was an old grocery store turned into a bar.
Wow.
The only band I used to love playing there, but one night this guy came in and got in an argument with some people, and then waited outside and shot these people to death.
Oh God.
And my car and my drummer's car, John, was this one guy was one away from him, and he shot at him, and it hit my car.
Oh God.
Yeah, this was in '78. I
wow.
mean, that guy's in prison. He killed like a bunch of people,
oh,
that night. But he killed two at the bar, and But that is the first bar that we played as The Look. I didn't mean to add that other stuff.
No, that's fine. That's cool.
Every time I hear about these shootings, I always think back to the day. I mean, we didn't see them do it. We just came outside, and we all ran back inside when the cops got there.
Right.
But that in no way has anything to do with The Look, except that we were playing that bar that night.
I see. What were some of the other places you guys would have, started out playing in the day? Some of the other clubs?
Probably in Pontiac, we were playing the 300 Ball. That would be probably our main club. We used to play there a lot, do 4 sets a night, 5 sets a night, 6 nights a week.
Okay.
But we played a lot after We're Gonna Rock came out on the radio.
Right.
In June, I think it was June of '78. It wasn't even on a record. It was a cassette. They played this cassette on the radio. It was amazing.
Wow.
Nobody else had that. And then all of a sudden there was other bands. Bittersweet Alex, Toby Red, Adrenaline, Strut, The Romantic. All of us started doing records, and We're Gonna Rock was never a single until '81.
Really?
It'd been on the radio for 3 years, but the only way you could get it was like recorded off the radio. It was a mistake by management, I think. I mean, I don't want to really blame them, but the thing is that we were going to New York. Every year we would go showcase in New York trying to get a big record deal. And it never happened, so what we did was finance our own record, and we went to Birmingham, Alabama in the summer of 1980 and recorded an album at the Music Place with Johnny Sandlin. The late Johnny produced the Allman Brothers, Cher, Greg Allman. He produced a lot of people, the Outlaws. But we started out with a really really good producer. But We're Gonna Rock was produced in Flint, Michigan at Grand Funk's studio. They had a studio called The Swamp.
Really? Wow.
And we did like 8 songs, and We're Gonna Rock was from there. We tried recording it in Alabama, but it didn't sound the same.
Right.
It could never replicate what they did at the Swamp with Mark Stevens. Mark Stevens was Grand Funk Sound Man, and they were recording it here. So.
Wow. Now, how did you hook up with that particular studio? Had you known some people that had recorded there other than Grand Funk?
Well, no. And you were mentioning what places that we played. We used to play the Second Chance in Ann Arbor. I mean, that was a really nice club. I played there with Joe Cocker. I played there with a Michael Stanley band. We played with a lot of people there. Opened up Cheap Trick, but we used to play there a lot. And Don Brewer, the drummer for Grand Funk, his sound man, Mark Stevens, and their light man, Stephen Graff. Those 2 guys talked Don into coming out and seeing us, right?
Right.
And Don really liked us, and he said, yeah, bring these guys up to the studio. We'll record. That's how that happened.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I just saw, Mark lives in California now. I saw him about 10 years ago when I went to California. But Stephen Graff, we did the Motor City Muscle Fest. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. They're going to have this big festival down at Hart Plaza with all these different bands on different stages and stuff like that. I ran into Stephen Graff. He was the light man for Grand Funk. And I ran into him. He was at this show. It was pretty funny. But that's how we got that. That's how we got that song recorded. We did the 1 song in Flint, and then we did 9 songs in Birmingham, Alabama, with Johnny Sam in 1980. It came out April of '81.
Now, how did it do? Did you get? I remember the other song on it. I mean, they're all great songs, but I remember the other song that I remember from it was, of course, "Can't Sit Down." Did that get radio airplay too, as much as "We're Gonna Rock"?
Well, yeah, but "Can't Sit Down" was on the second album. That was on the Look Again album. The first album,
that's right.
Yeah, the second album had "You Can't Sit Down."
Right.
Yeah, that was a video on MTV. What happened was we didn't get a really big record deal, but we got our video played on MTV, and then when we put out videos, that really helped record sales and things like that.
Oh, I'm sure. How did you happen to get "We're Gonna Rock" onto MTV? Who noticed it? How did that come about?
MTV was just starting,
right.
So our manager Bruce Lorfeld, he got the wild idea. I'm just going to send this video to New York. Of course, we were in New York a lot anyway. But we got written up in People magazine long before we became,
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Bruce sent a tape to Viacom, I guess, owns MTV. But he sent it to them, and they liked it, and they played it. And we became the first Detroit band on MTV, and I think the Romantics were second.
Right.
There's a little discrepancy. Me and Wally of the Romantics always tease each other, going, "I was first, you were first." But anyway, it's just both of us were on MTV, and there's no other Detroit band.
That's true. I thought Seduce was on it at one time, but I think they might have just been on the beat or something locally.
I remember them being on MTV. If they were, it was probably later.
Yeah, if it was later. I was thinking like their Headbangers Ball.
Even Seeger and Madonna, none of those people were on there.
Yeah, that's true. At least not till later, much later.
Yeah, what we got was like in 2015, we got inducted to the Michigan Rock and Roll Legends Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because we were the first Detroit band on MTV. Why we were in there.
That's so cool. Was that video shot like downtown some area? Some parts of it?
No, it was actually shot in London, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
But we used to play in Canada. We were on A&M Records in Canada. We play a lot. We played Toronto, and we play Chatham, and we play Windsor. I just played Windsor just last year for the first time in a long time.
Wow.
Well, actually the first time since 2015, because we played the Windsor Blues Fest. But recorded in London, Ontario, at a club called Fryfold.
Really cool. Now, the look now, like I said, are there any original members other than yourself?
No, but John has played with me. My drummer, Rusty Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he goes to visit his mother. She's elderly. She's getting old. And he goes down to Illinois, and he'll take a weekend off. So sometimes if I have a gig, John will come in, and he'll fill in. So I do play with John. But I just recorded a new song, which is going to be out here pretty soon, called It's My Life. And Sammy Warren, the guitar player for The Look, is on this track. Oh, we got Wilson Owens from Mitch Ryder's band, and Sammy Warren, and my guy, Bob Monteleone, who plays guitar for me, and also he produces a lot of my solo records and shit like that. And then we got my bass player, Rick Zelda. time. So this new song will be out probably within the next week or two. It's called "It's My Life."
Now, is it going to be on a release, or is it just going to be
It'll be a single.
Okay.
You know, it's something that's going to be on an album.
right?
But right now we're just releasing a single. It's dedicated to Leon Mills and Nate Peterson, who before Sammy got in the look, he was in a band called Brad Axis with 3 other guys, and he was the only white guy in the band. It was
Wow.
kind of cool. They were really good, and 2 of these members, Leon and Nate, have passed away. Leon passed away about 10 years ago, and Nate Peterson just passed away about 4 months ago. So we thought we'd get together and, you know, do this song that they used to do and they wrote, and we're going to make it a little tribute to them. So
That's really cool.
so 2 of the guys I have played, Rick Vuk used to come around once in a while too and play,
Mhm.
but his health has gone down. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in quite a while, but I know that he had some problems with his knees,
Yes,
some of the operations that he got.
right. Yeah, I remember that when working with them at Jack Timber Ford. The other question I had for you
Sure.
was on the Wheels album. Now, did you pick the song that you guys put on there, or did they pick the song?
They picked it. That song had been out for a long time. That was probably an old Look song. Look turned it down for whatever reason. We used to vote on things, you know what I mean?
Right.
Try to be democratic, and so I just did that song anyway. It's called
Right.
Rock and Roll Fever.
Yeah.
They picked it. Doug Vodell picked it.
Now that's interesting to me. It's a great song. Don't get me wrong, but I thought, in retrospect to like what the other artists would have done or had done on it, I should say, that you would have put "We're Gonna Rock" or "Can't Sit Down" on that because of it being more or less a they're getting a
that was
reflection.
more well known. I had no choice in that. I was just glad to even be concluded. I mean, I'm
Sure.
on an album with Grand Funk.
Hmm.
I mean, Mark Farner. I've opened for The Look. Actually opened for Grand Funk. Plus, I've opened for Mark solo. So I kind of know Mark a little bit, and of course I know Ted Nugent a little bit.
Right.
And I know a bunch of those people on that album. It was kind of cool. I had no, Doug picked the song, and I was just glad that it was at least an original.
Now, would you have picked one of the other two if you would have had a choice? If they would have said, you pick a song.
First of all, I have 18. I'm on 18 albums.
Hmm.
That would be The Look. That would be the Dave Edwards Band, and I guess so. The Bell Island. I don't know
Right.
if you know about that. I'm in a reggae band
Oh, really? Wow.
called the Bell Islanders, and we have 2 albums out, and now they just put out a best of the Bell Islanders.
Hmm.
So I'm in that reggae group, but that would not be. I wouldn't put any reggae on that Wheels album.
Right. I was, like I said, I was just.
It goes into other songs. I don't know.
I was just thinking, We're Gonna Rock because, like I said, that was the song that I think you'd have been best known for, at least from
Yeah.
that time frame and everything. And like you said, Bittersweet Alley was on it with Time to Move, and that was their namesake song.
It was their signature song. You're exactly right.
Right, and that's kind of why I thought that. I mean, it's a great song you have on there and stuff. I like, almost everything I've heard from you and stuff. I haven't heard everything from you, other Bitterness and the Look stuff. Now, the Look albums, were they out strictly on vinyl at the time?
Yes, that we were not CDs yet. The album, the first album was 81, second album was 82. The third album was 84, but we spent a lot of 83 in California at Fantasy Studios. Fantasy Studios and Fantasy Records had Creedence Clearwater Revival and a bunch of other people. Too many for me to sit here and name, but
Sure.
we recorded that album out there. And right after that, Billy Joel's 52nd Street, I believe, was the first CD,
Yeah.
first album CD. I think it was Billy Joel in 83.
Right.
But the first 3, they were on vinyl. They are now, you can buy We're Gonna Rock and all that stuff on Amazon, and it's on compilation album. It's called The Look, A Collection for the Record.
Oh, so it is on a CD version now.
Yeah, it is on a CD, yes.
Oh, that's interesting because I've been trying to find it, of course, for ages on vinyl or whatever. At least the first one and the second one.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Probably Amazon would be the best spot to get it. It used to be on iTunes, but I don't know why they.
Yeah, The first album is kind of on, there's something that's kind of on Spotify by you guys.
Yeah.
But it's only like 6 songs, and that's it. They don't have a full album, which I thought was kind of odd. They got the hot songs on there, or some of them at least, but that was it. But that's cool. I'll be definitely looking to pick that up because, like I said,
yeah, or you can go to my website, thelooke.net, and pick it up there.
Oh, okay.
Either download the songs and do it that way, or you can buy it actual physical.
Yeah, I like the physical thing. I'm older. Yeah. I kind of like the physical.
I think the album needs to be redone as far as the graphics and all that stuff. Probably update that soon.
Yeah, it was cool. To me, it had that real, late 70s, 80s look. Very simple, really simple cover. There was other artists I remember at the time that did similar covers that weren't, real abstract or anything like that. So I think it fit the times and stuff. And the most important thing, of course, was the music. And that was just phenomenal. So what are you up to lately? I know you have the Dave Edwards group. And is that more or less what you concentrate on now? Or are you doing a little bit of both?
I do a little bit of both because people, when they hire us to play, they want to use the name The Look. And I don't mind because I own the name. It is trademarked in the United States by me.
Mm-hmm.
There's an English band that's been using the name for years, and they should be doing that, but whatever. I'm not gonna.
How did you come up with that name, by the way? Was there any story behind that?
Well, it was just a joke. We do the Three Stooges, like, oh look,
hey Mo, hey Mo,
hey Mo, yeah. So it was just a stupid thing, and then I said, hey, The Look sounds cool. That'd be it for a band.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some people that make fun of it, and there are some people that think it's a cool name. So
it is cool. It's also easy to remember. It's catchy and it's easy to remember. Some of these bands have these off-the-wall names.
Yeah, I have to use my name in front of it because like I said, there's some other bands. There's about 5 in the U.S. who are trying to use that name, and it's just, it'd be nice if I had enough money to sue them all.
Right.
I'm just going to wait until one of them maybe hits it big, and then that'll be the time to sue them.
That'll be the time to bankload.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, my last album, which was out in I did it in 2022, and then 2023, I won my first Detroit Music Award with the album.
Wow.
It's called Every Time I Roll the Dice, and it's a tribute to Delbert McClinton.
Yeah, I know that song.
And when we were I just mentioned to you, we were in Alabama recording our first album. Johnny had produced Delbert McClinton. So one time when we were recording, Johnny said, we're going to take the night off and we're going to go to the Old Time Music Hall in Birmingham. It was Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we're going to go see Delbert McClinton. And we knew who he was. We just didn't know him. So
right.
We went that night. He was great. Came back to the studio and we were off. He was a little too under the sauce. We were trying to get him to sing on the record, but no, I can't do it, boys. I had a little too much to drink tonight. So.
Well, at least he admitted it and stuff, so he didn't slur all over it and stuff.
And I've talked to him a few times. I've seen him live a few times. He always says, I say, Delbert, do you remember me? He goes, no, when did I meet you? And I said, like 81. He said, you don't expect me to remember all the way back then, do you? I said, no, I guess not. Really good album, and I won a Detroit Music Award. I've been nominated like 15 times prior to this.
Right.
In 8 different categories and never won until last year.
Well, better late than never, eh?
That's right. That's right.
Are you concentrating more on the country blues type of stuff with the Dave Edwards band, or as opposed to like what The Look was doing?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't put music in categories. I just play what I like.
Right.
And if somebody calls it, I want a blues album. I mean, I'm not really a blues person, but I can sing the blues.
Right.
I can play the blues. I've had the blues,
But I mean, you're not leaning towards more of that style now as you've gotten older?
I don't know. Country blues, I guess, like I just said, I like to play whatever I like playing.
Right.
I play reggae. I mean,
right.
You look up the Bell Islanders and you'll hear me.
What got you involved in that? What got you interested in reggae, or playing in a reggae band, I should say?
Well, I've always been involved. Some of the guys in The Look in the 90s were in Black Market. Now, that was Detroit's reggae band.
Right.
So a couple of those members in that band were in actually 3 of Bob, Mitch Purdy, and Jim Majerian. 3 guys were in Black Market. Also, I'd seen Bob Marley at Masonic Temple in 1976. So I saw him live, and so I was really into reggae way back then when I was in a band called Tantrum. Now, Tantrum couldn't have been further apart. Tantrum was a heavy metal rock. We used to go Seeger. You know, our manager was the Seeger's light man, Eric Hearn. Seeger's sound man was Brian Chubb. They were my roommates, but we used to open for Bob a lot in that band, Tantrum. It was a heavy metal band. So
wow.
How I ever got involved in reggae, I don't know, but I didn't like it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's good to have different tastes and different styles. It helps you out as a musician. Now, playing in that band Tangent, you said was a heavy metal band.
Tantrum.
Or Tantrum, I'm sorry.
Tantrum, yeah.
You said you had opened up for Bob Seger?
A couple times, yeah. Well, again, my roommates, Brian was the sound man for Bob Seger. Eric was the light man for Bob Seger. So if you look on the live album, both those names are on there.
Right.
And I used to live with them guys in Pontiac.
Now, whereabouts would you open up for Seger in those days?
Once was in Flint at the IMA, the old IMA, because the new IMA is a bigger arena.
Right.
But they used to have the IMA downtown, about a 5,000 seater, and then in Traverse City at the Glacier Dome, which was a hockey arena.
Right.
So those 2 places, and then one other time was in Bowling Green, Ohio, at a university.
What years would that have been? Are you talking the 70s?
75, 76, just when Bob was starting to break, and it was before the Girls. You remember Bob Seger had a hit in 1969 called Ramblin' Gamblin' Man.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't have another big hit until 75, 76 with Beautiful Loser and then into Nightmare.
Right.
So just during that period.
Wow, that is killer. Now, did the Look ever get to play with Seger at all?
No.
No? Who were some of the artists that you guys or the Look opened for?
Oh, geez. Jeff Healy Band, Chuck Berry, John Caffrey, and the Beaver Brown Band. When I was with RH, we opened for Ray Charles. I've opened for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Mark Farner, The Kinks, Gary Glitter, Marty Ballin, and the San Francisco All-Stars. The MC5, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome. Now, out of all these
But
groups...
there's more than that. Trust me, there's more than that.
I'm sure. I'm stretching your memory, I'm sure, on this. Were there any particular shows that you remember from back in the day that really stand out in your memory as far as like...
Opening for the Jay Giles.
Oh, God, yes.
There's some video on my YouTube channel of that. Yeah, we opened for them. Shit, we opened for the Starship. Pete Trick, Peter Framp, Don Cougar Mellencamp.
And you weren't a signed band. Now, did you have management that hooked up these slots for you?
But some of these we had, like I said, we put our own label, we put our own songs out, and finally got signed on the second album.
Right.
But we put that We're Gonna Rock album out by ourselves. Management put up the money, and then we just put it out ourselves, which was unheard of back then.
Right, exactly. Now, what label was the second album on?
Quality RFC, and in Canada it was on A&M.
Ah, okay. Subsidiaries.
If you want to get those albums on vinyl,
yeah,
go to Discogs. DIS.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. They have them? Wow, that would be cool. I'm really into vinyl.
They got our songs are out all over the world. When I get royalties, I'm getting royalties from Portugal and just all these places, man. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Now, is that much? Do you get much as far as that, or is it pennies?
No, I get a few $100 every month.
Oh, well, there you go. That's cool.
Well, every couple months, I should say.
Well, that's not bad.
Quarterly.
And back in the day, what radio stations would have been playing, We're Gonna Rock? Was that, I don't think, was Wheels around then, or was it WRIF?
Well, RIP was, yeah. But see, we were getting national airplay. I mean, We're Gonna Rock was #1 in San Jose, California.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be top 5 in Boston. I mean, we were getting airplay all over the country because of MTV.
Right, that helps make a big difference.
That made us a national band really quickly, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. And did you guys ever go out on tour specifically, around the country?
Oh, yeah. We played all over the United States. I mean,
with a specific band, go out there and tour a stint?
No, we didn't. We did it pretty much ourselves. We'd hook up with bands every once in a while and do shows with them.
Right.
But we play in big clubs. Sometimes we'd go into an arena, but we weren't the headline. We'd be the open hand.
Right. Now, were there some favorite bars or clubs here in the Detroit area that you like playing at?
Well, the Second Chance for sure. There's just so many. I mean, I played Cobo Hall, played the Fillmore.
I mean, like the Ritz, Harpo's, you play those clubs too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The biggest gig I ever did was I was with RH Factor. I opened for the Pope John Paul II, 1987.
Wow.
At the Silverdome. Yeah, people don't know that too much. I am one of the only singers to ever open up for a Pope.
Now, how did that come about? I mean, what do you mean specifically with a band?
Well,
or you
there
just
was
singing?
a Catholic priest that we knew that they wanted some entertainment. That was the biggest crowd ever at the Silverdome,
Oh,
by
I'm
the way.
sure.
It was
For the
almost
Pope?
100,000.
Oh, my God.
There's video on my channel.
Oh, I'm going to have to definitely check that out. I'd never heard that before. That's really, really wild. And like I said, did you just sing or
No, we had the band. It was RH Factor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how did it sound? Do you remember?
Sounded great. Well, you can, like I said, you can go on YouTube and you can see some of them.
Oh, okay.
We did the same songs we were doing in a bar.
Right. I understand that, but the Silverdome was never known for good sound. Even some of the big acts that I saw, they usually sounded horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, though. Vice President George H.W. Bush was there, too.
Wow.
I know.
Did you guys sell any merch?
No. No, but it was on live TV. When the Pope came, he went down to Hart Plaza, and Aretha Franklin opened for him down there. And then he came up to the Silverdome the next day, and we opened.
And I'm sorry, what year did you say that was?
September of 1987. I think September 18th or 19th.
That's really good. That's incredible.
People go, what? Because are you crazy? You're lying. I said, no, if I was lying, you can check out anything I say.
No, I believe you. That's great. It'd be like, look, it's the Pope.
But it was RH. Don't forget, it was RH Factor, not the Look.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
That band was good, too. We did some recording, but we never really released anything.
Mm-hmm.
They had some stuff. I'm not sure. I might have been on one, maybe a single or something. But they were a good band. They were called the Rick Hall Band.
Okay.
That's RH,
What are your plans for the future? Are you just going to keep playing, recording? Do you have any big plans or anything as far as any upcoming releases other than that single? Or is it just kind of day by day?
Well, I'm working with Motor City Josh Ford. He's got a studio, the Sound Shop, and he's a great blues musician. And he produces my stuff. This song that we're putting out is, like I said, it's a tribute to some old friends. Mm-hmm. Two of them who passed away.
Right.
But that's going to be on an album. I'm putting together another album. So.
You have any idea when that would be out?
I'd say probably next year, early next year.
Okay. Are most of the songs for that written, or are you just still working on it other than that one?
I would say there's written ones and there's covers. See, I'm very lucky. I can just play whatever I want,
Right. That's very cool. And I'm glad to see you still recording and still out there playing. It's still entertaining as hell. Because like I said,
I'm one of the few people that from that era that are still actually playing all the time.
Oh, I know.
I take the winters off, but
do you go down to Florida?
Well, my wife's parents live in Florida. Yeah, and my parents used to live in Florida too, but they moved back. They got really sick. They both passed away a couple years ago.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I love Florida. Are you kidding? I play down there. We did the very first MTV. It was before the actual spring break when Kid Rock did it.
Right.
But we played a spring break for a whole week in Daytona, and it was sponsored by MTV and Newport Cigarettes.
Oh, that must have been a bit of a blast.
Yeah, that was. What year was that? I'm trying to think. I think it was '82. It was right after the second album came out.
That is awesome. Well, Dave, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I really, really appreciate you talking to me today. I wish you the best and more success to come. Hopefully we'll get some more Motor City awards and stuff, because I know being that you're like you said.
It's funny because I've been in 8 different categories, even gospel. I did Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. I did that song. I got nominated for gospel. It's gospel, country. It's like 8 different categories. Rock.
Well, opening up to the Pope, that should have gotten you in with the gospel thing at least.
It'll get me into heaven, hey, Jim?
Yeah, there you go. Knock on wood there. All right, Dave. Well, thanks again for talking to me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully see you down the line. at one of the clubs or whatever, this spring.
Come up and say hi and stuff. So I can put a face with a picture, or face with the name.
Yes, I most definitely will. All right, buddy, you have a good night now. Take care.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
You bet, no problem. Take care, buddy.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was Dave Edwards from The Look. He was also in the RH Factor, like he mentioned. His latest thing is pretty much the Dave Edwards Band, and he's been around for about 46 years, still rocking and rolling. The Look's big single, of course, was We're Gonna Rock, first Detroit band to be on MTV, and I remember that video to this day. Of course, you can check it out on YouTube. It's really cool, real fun, real poppy song from a great group from the 80s. Anyway, this is Jimmy Jive, and as I like to say, keep rocking.